on offers around Giannis Antetokounmpo.
He got them a title, and they just didn't do enough to go on a run.
The league is investigating the Bucks.
They tried to put it on him, and he ain't having it.
Is he healthy enough to play?
I'm healthy, man, and I just hate when people force me to do things against my nature.
I'm trying to ball. Hell yeah, I want it all. We come from none.
Him re-signing is still an option for Milwaukee.
If Giannis does play somewhere else, then we ought to get a lot of assets. If he's here, then you build the team different.
At what point is we gonna stop this in between?
As the Giannis trade talk continues, we talk about it with NBA senior writer Ramona Shelby, who joins us now. Ramona, what's the latest on Giannis and the Bucks?
Well, we are all waiting for Tuesday, and the question is whether or not the Bucks stick to their self-imposed statement. That's Jimmy Haslam out there, one of the co-owners of the Bucks, saying the draft is the biggest moment where we want to make a deal. This is where teams have draft picks to put into trades, and we'd like to wrap it up by then. But that's just a soft deadline. You know, there's this sense if Milwaukee doesn't get what they want, this could go on longer. But right now, it's really the three teams that you hear most about are the Boston Celtics, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Miami Heat. All of them have very interesting reasons for why they would be pursuing a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo. For Boston, it would be the best player they could give Jason Tatum to play with in his prime. For Miami, they pair him with Bam Adebayo. It's a perfect front court pairing, and it's the star they've been needing for a long time. And obviously for Minnesota, that's Ant-Man right there, who's been successful in the playoffs but has not gotten over that hump. And you're on the clock with a superstar of that caliber in his 20s, and so that's a pairing they've long looked at and tried to make happen.
Okay, let's set that aside for a minute, because we're also waiting to see what LeBron James is going to do for a possible 24th NBA season. What are his playing options at this point?
Well, I think LA is the first team he can talk to, right? Because he's their own free agent. And my understanding, had initial conversations with LeBron James' representative, but he has not even fully committed to returning next year in these conversations. The conversations were described to me as, we're keeping in touch. Okay, so there's no commitment to even returning or salary figures being discussed. I think that's been interpreted as something like LeBron is still assessing his options, whether that's retirement or whether that's other teams. And if there are other teams that he's looking at, what does that money look like? Somebody cautioned me, I think one of the biggest ways you can frame this is if he's back in LA, like he spoke at the end about, there was a story Dave McMenamin wrote about how he doesn't feel respected necessarily for some sacrifices he made as the third player here in LA behind Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. How would he swallow any kind of a pay cut, even if it's more than any other team could give him? Even if it's $30 million, well, that's still $22 million less than he made last year, and I think that's really what they're trying to weigh.
Yeah, that's a story to watch for sure. This Friday will be 23 years since LeBron went number one overall. The Wizards have their number one pick Tuesday night, and Kansas is Darren Peterson.
Yeah.
Currently second in our mock draft, only working out for Washington. What more do you have on his process?
Yeah, you know, he's only working out for Washington, but he did meet with Utah Jazz at the NBA Combine in Chicago last month, and I think there's a sense of people in Utah may have taken the idea that he's now working out for them privately some kind of way, but that's really been stressed to me as it's not anything against Utah or Memphis and any other teams that take after it. It's more a statement that Darren Peterson believes he should go number one overall. That's what he's focused on. He'd be happy to go to the Washington Wizards, and if for some reason they didn't take him, he feels pretty confident that he would not slip past Utah at number 2.
All right. Cannot wait for Tuesday to have all of this shake out. Hopefully. We'll see.
Fine.
You never know. First round of the NBA
Top 5 in his most recent mock draft. AJ DeBonsa going with the first overall pick to Washington, followed by Darren Peterson. Number 2 overall to Utah. Then it's Duke's Cam Boozer, UNC's Caleb Wilson, and Illinois' Keaton Wagler rounding out the top 5. You're about to learn something, America, because we got ESPN NBA front office insider Bobby Marks joining the program. Bobby, good morning to you. What are the Wizards weighing here in the top spot?
Well, this is a top-heavy draft right now, and I think when you look at, there's three players I think you can consider at number 1 when you look at Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, and Cameron Boozer. It's a good problem to have, and I think when you look at Peterson here, 6'6" guard, the ultimate shot maker, I think he's being overlooked defensively, what he can do on that end of the court. Yes, it was an uneven year at Kansas here, but I have him number 1 on my board right now. And then you look at Dibonsa, 6'9", 215 pounds, a terror in transition, has gotten a lot better from the 3 as far as that's something he's worked on in the offseason. And then Boozer, the most complete offensive player out of the 3 here. 4 assists at Duke, 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. A good problem to have if you are the Washington Wizards.
It's so freshman-loaded, so top-heavy, so talent-rich this draft. What's the ideal player-team pairing, in your eyes, in the top 10?
Yeah, I love Darius Acuff in Sacramento at 7. I don't know if he's going to make it to 7, but I have him number 5 right now. And what I like about Acuff is here's a player that has modeled his game after Damian Lillard, has studied a lot of Allen Iverson. Yes, he's 6'2", 6'3" here, but his ability to get to the rim, his fearlessness, his ability to close games, his passing a little over north of 6 assists at Arkansas this year. So I have Acuff after Peterson as the best guard on the board here. I think Sacramento needs a face of their franchise, and he's the guy.
Not hyperbolic to say this is one of the most talent-rich drafts we've seen in recent memory. When is the last time we've seen a draft class, Bobby, like this?
Well, what were you doing in 1996? I was year 1 at the New Jersey Nets, and when I look at this year's draft class, that is what I'm comparing it to. 1996. Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, Ray Allen, Kobe Bryant, Kerry Kittle, Steve Nash. The list goes on as far as a dearth of guards here. It was deep, and I think when you look at this year's draft, certainly Peterson will go in the top 2, but there's going to be a run of guards from 5 to 10. We might see 5 guards go right in a row, and I do look at that draft back in '96 comparable to what we're going to see on Tuesday night.
Hall of Famers, MVPs, championships abound in '96. And to answer your question, I was sleeping with a nightlight back in 1996. Bob Marks. NBA Draft Tuesday on ABC and ESPN. Thank you, Bobby.
After the big question is, who will go number 1? Darren Peterson from Kansas or BYU's A.J. Dibonsa? NBA draft analyst Jeremy Woo joining us now. Jeremy, what is the latest you're hearing on who will be taken with the number 1 pick?
Jay, the Wizards are narrowing down their choice here to 2 players, Darren Peterson and A.J. Dibonsa. That was the major news that Shams Charania and I reported this week. Now, the strategy here is interesting. Darren Peterson will only visit the Wizards. He's not planning to go anywhere else. He's putting himself in position to go number 1. He's trying to help the Wizards feel comfortable with him as a candidate after his weird year at Kansas. Now, Dibonsa, also very much in the mix. He went to Washington and Utah. He has, is a candidate in both spots. The Wizards have a tough call to make, but I think we'll see where they land on Tuesday. But they've been very, very radio silent out of Washington, and it's kind of the big mystery around the league right now is which direction they're going to go.
Yeah, no one giving anything away right now because the first round of the 2026 NBA Draft begins Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC and ESPN. Jeremy Woo, thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, our NBA front office insider Bobby Marks joins me now. Okay, Bobby, so the Wizards, they've got the first pick. We know that Trae Young, he's declined that player option with the team. So Washington remains the front runner, though, to sign him. What else do you think the Wizards should be prioritizing this offseason?
Well, about 2 months from now, there's going to be a decision when it comes to Anthony Davis, who is extension eligible starting on August 6th. To sign a 4-year extension with the Wizards. He's got 2 years left on his contract. The second year is a player option. Here's a player that they acquired at the deadline, did not play this year because of injuries here, but certainly a big decisions on the horizon with Davis. I think the other thing too, real quick, is this team is going to have to learn how to win. This is a team that finished the regular season 1-26. So although they get Young and Davis, there is some winning habits that need to be curated here.
Yeah, you would think if they can re-sign AD, Trae Young, get a number 1 pick here, maybe they could do something because the Wizards started 1-15 last season. As you pointed out, they lost 26 of their final 27 games. Let's talk about Giannis. Trade rumors obviously heating up here. What do you think, which team is in the best position to make an offer to Milwaukee?
I'm still in the belief it's Miami, because when you look at Giannis, it's the superstar checklist of 3 things that Miami has here. It's the win now player. When you look at a player like Tyler Hero, remember, you've got to get to $48 million in salary just to send out. Hero makes $33 million as an unexpiring contract. Then you look at young players like Khalil Ware and Jaime Jaquez, 2 players on rookie deals, and then it's the draft picks. Remember, Milwaukee's got the 10th pick in the draft. Miami's got the 13th pick in the draft. They can send 2 future picks in 30 and 32. They've got some swap rights here. So I do think Miami's got, right now, has the best package out there. But we've got to get some clarity here. The draft's right around the corner on Tuesday night.
Yeah, we'll see. And generally, Miami loves to make a splash by getting big-time players. We'll see what happens. Bobby Marks.
To the association, where it's the offseason of Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks are listening to offers for the 2-time MVP, who is coming off a career-low 36 games played this past season. Giannis said last year that it might be time to move on. Team co-owner Jimmy Haslam says we'll find out soon whether Giannis signs a max contract to stay or is moved elsewhere. For more, let's bring in our